من وطن الكرامة.
Hello, welcome to Watan al-Karama News Channel. It is 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments in Libya. First, Deputy of Parliament Speaker Mohammed Shaib said that parties involved in Sekhira dialogue will meet tomorrow in Tunisia to develop practical steps for signing a political agreement. Shaib noted that the political agreement document approved by the Libyan parties of Sekhirat is a comprehensive document tackling institution rebuildings, addressing the situation of the refugees displaced, especially in Benghazi, security agencies and border. It also includes a vision of how to build a modern Libyan state. Parliament member Khalifa Daghari said that Constitution of 1963 is the solution as seen by most of Parliament members, expressing his regret because of the failure of the Constitution body for drafting the Constitution after all these budget and periods granted to the body. Daghari said several consultative meetings held by the Libyan dialogue delegations, adding the Parliament will meet for dialogue and consultations before the vote. He also stressed that the national agreement is regarded as a lifeline for nation and reunification of the country, according to him. UN envoy to Libya Martin Kobler said that the political agreement, which is sponsored by the United Nations, remains the only means of resolving the conflict in Libya. Following a meeting with Parliament members and members of the outgoing Congress in Tunisia, Kobler added the political agreement sponsored by the United Nations is the work base for the UN mission and the only means available to rapidly push the process forward. Members of the Parliament and the outgoing Congress have signed a declaration of principles for Libyan dialogue without the participation of any outside parties. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Gennady Katilov announced his participation in the international conference on the settlement of Libya to hold in December 13 in Rome. Katilov said he would travel to Rome accompanied by Director of the Middle East Department at the Foreign Ministry Sergei Vereshnin, where the conference is organized by the Italian Foreign Minister Paolo Gentiloni said he had hoped to participate along with the Foreign Ministers of Russia Sergei Lavrov and the United States John Kerry in the conference. And still in Libyan state, second Deputy of Parliament Speaker Ahmed Houma, Chief of Staff of the Parliament Abdullah al-Mesmari, and accompanying delegation arrived in Tobruk following a fruitful visit to Guinea-Bissau. The sources noted that the Houma held on the sideline of a summit of African Parliament bilateral meetings with the heads and members of delegations of Morocco, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire and Mali to discuss means of supporting legitimate institutions in Libya, lifting the arms embargo imposed on the armed forces in its war on terrorism, as well as maintaining the Libyan investments abroad. Colonel Omar al-Mesmari, Brigadier Ramadan Abu Zaid, Colonel Ahmed Zergani and Colonel Mustafa Khashbur visited Al-Karama operations in Benghazi yesterday. The visit of the military came after the assignment of Commander-in-Chief of Arab Libyan Armed Forces, General Khalifa Haftar, to pass on the districts and know the needs of members of the armed forces and their requirements, as well as assessing the latest developments and conditions for field fighters in Benghazi. On two Sabiri districts, spokesman for the Air Force, Nasser al-Hasi, said the Air Force targeted tank and a convoy of terrorist groups near the cement factory in Benghazi, as well as 4 stores of ammunition in Al-Gawarisha neighborhood. Al-Hasi stressed that 2 soldiers of the armed forces were martyred and 4 others wounded during violent clashes in Sabiri districts with the remnants of terrorist militia. He added that the bodies of the 2 soldiers were taken to the city hospital. And now my audience to the Arab arena, topped by Yemen. Unknown attackers blew up an abandoned Catholic church in the southern Yemeni port city of Aden on Wednesday, residents said, days after terrorist Daesh militants assassinated the city's governor. The gunmen, who were probably extremists, blew up the Catholic church in the Mola district of Aden, one resident said. He added, "We heard strong explosions which sent a big plume of smoke into the air, and afterwards the building was completely destroyed." Yemen's embattled government is based in Aden but has struggled to impose its authority there since its forces, backed by Gulf Arab troops, expelled Houthi fighters who control capital Sana'a. Daesh militants carry out frequent attacks and have seized government buildings and occasionally deploy on the streets unhindered. Nearly 6,000 people have died since Yemen's civil war sparked a Saudi-led military intervention in March. On to the Syrian crisis, Russia Air Force flew 82 stories against 204 targets in Syria in the past 24 hours as part of an intensified air campaigns in the region, the Defense Ministry spokesperson said today. In the past 24 hours, Russia's Air Force planes have flown 82 stories against 204 terrorist targets in the Arabic Republic of Syria. The strikes hit targets in the province of Aleppo, Idlib, Latakia, Hama and Homs. As part of this, Russian planes flew 32 stories in nighttime, said spokesperson Igor Kanishnov today. He added that Russia had for the first time struck terrorist Daesh targets in Syria with missiles fired from a submarine in the Mediterranean. Referring to a televised meeting between Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and President Vladimir Putin, Kanishnikov said the intensity of Russia's air campaign have substantially increased. Russia began intervening directly in Syria's civil war at the end of September with airstrikes, but the intervention has had unintended consequences, notably when Turkey shot down a Russian fighter jet that it said had strayed into Turkish airspace, an allegation that Russia denies. The United States is prepared to deploy advisors and attack helicopters if requested by Iraq to help it finish the job of retaking the city of Ramadi from terrorist Daesh group, U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter said today. Carter's remark was the latest sign of U.S. preparations to intensify its military involvement in the battle against the group, which controls wide swaths of Iraq and Syria and has orchestrated and inspired attacks abroad. Extremist Daesh group captured Ramadi, a provincial capital just a short drive west of Baghdad, in May in its biggest conquest since last year. Retaking it would be a major victory for Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi. Carter, speaking at a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing, said today it has taken a frustratingly long time for Iraqi security forces to claw back territory, but he pointed to significant gains, including recapturing the Anbar Operations Center on the northern bank of the Euphrates River in the past 24 hours. My audience, that is a wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website at www.watanalkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, Rانيا البليدى.